Hello, this is Kabo. In this video I'll be talking about a little filter for MCEdit that I wrote. If you saw my graphs video, you would have seen a big graph in it. Big graphs like this can be tedious to build, so I wrote a filter to make it easier. The way it works is actually inspired by Sespling's Create Shops filter. It uses chests as input. Basically, each column in this chest represents one data. So this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. It just adds up all the rows in each column. If you want a 0, you have a blank column, and you can use the ender pearl to tell it where to end. So if you have zeros hanging off the edge like this, and you put an ender pearl here, it will go all the way to the ender pearl, and then make sure to get this 0. Also, since the ender pearl tells it where to stop, if you put it here, then it will stop here and not get any of the data afterwards. So none of these would be included, and the 14 wouldn't be included. It goes by the rows, so this is like 0 through 8, and then 9 through 17, and so on. Also, the maximum number in each column is 192. They can be any item. They don't have to be redstone and repeaters. You can mix them up however you want. And that's all there is to it to setting up the chests. Just make sure that when you set them up, you have them running in the positive X direction or the positive Z direction. That's where X or Z are increasing. The reason for that is because of the way MCEdit does selection boxes. So that's all there is to that. I'll switch over to MCEdit and show you how it works. Okay, now we've got MCEdit open. You can see our chests down here. A couple things to keep in mind. When you select, no matter how high your selection box may be, make sure that the chests are on the bottom row. That's so that the script can find them. Also, you need to know the size of your graph beforehand. Let's say you want it to be 27 blocks long. Then you need to make sure that your selection is at least 27 blocks long. And the reason for this is because MCEdit doesn't place blocks outside of the chunks that have been selected. So make sure that it's within all of the selection, at least along this axis. And then when you... Oh, one more thing. You need to make sure that one of these axes, the X or the Z, is 1 block wide. If it's 2 blocks like this, or 3 blocks, it won't know which direction to look for the chests. So make sure that it's one block wide. So now that you have your selection, click on Filter, go to the filter, then you have these options. So the minor and major ticks for both the axis and the data determine the colors. So for the data, these determine the colors of the Y direction. For the axis, this is the X or the Z direction. And for the major ticks, this works by every however many ticks, it instead of placing a minor tick block, it places a major tick block. So 0 through 4 would be, or sorry, not 0 through 4. 1 through 4 would be black, and then 5 would be gray, and 6 through 9 would be black, and 10 would be gray, and so on. And of course we can change these. We can make this magenta, and this one purple. So it kind of matches anyway. And let's just leave those as they are. The axis tick separation, this is how many steps it will take in each tick, or each tick along the axis. So over here you can see the graph in the background has a 2 tick separation, so it moves 2 blocks over from the previous position. If it's 1, all of these would be next to each other. I'll go ahead and demonstrate this now. The white wool is the background right now, but of course you can change it to whatever you want. So here it goes. You can see generated the graph, white wool background, purple and magenta for the data values, Now, this will go all the way up to the top of the map. If, however, your data tries to exceed 255, the height of 255, it will stop and it won't place anymore. So keep that in mind. But that's really all there is to it. I'll reload and show you some variation just so you can get an idea of how the changes work. So let's select this again, and this time we'll go out 54 blocks. Then we'll do our filter, and we'll make the major tick 2, and let's make the axis tick separation 2. And for fun, let's change the background to pistons. So when we run the filter, generates our graph with a separation of 1, piston background, and our alternating magenta and purple because our major tick is 2. And that's really all there is to it. Also, if you were paying attention, you notice how there was a ender pearl here at the end and a 14 afterward, but since the ender pearl told it to stop, the 14 didn't get included. So just to show how that works. And that's all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought. Bye.